morning everyone. Today we are going to see operating system unit 3 session 8. In the previous session we have studied the concept semaphores. So semaphore is one integer variable which is used with the wait operation and signal operation. So we use wait operation with semaphore to lock the critical section, and we use wait operation with semaphore to unlock the critical section. And using semaphores, we can meet the condition of mutual exclusion and progress condition, bounded waiting, and even deadlocks. So in a bounded waiting, the processes are going to wait in the loop. That means whenever a particular process is in the critical section and when other process tries to enter into the critical section, such processes are going to get stuck into the loop, and they're going to loop is one trap, and continuously they're going to sense the loop to check that whether the semaphore value has changed. So continuously it is going to sense the loop, which is going to waste the CPU cycles. So unnecessary it is going to waste the CPU cycles. It is like unnecessary wasting of the energy. So unnecessary it is wasting the usage of CPU or resources. So what we can do, instead of making the processes to wait in the trap, that is in the loop, so such processes we can move to some particular state or in a queue, so that they will not waste the usage of CPU or any other resources. So whenever the critical section is unlocked, such processes can be moved back from that particular queue to the critical section. So this will avoid the unnecessary usage of CPU cycles or any other resources if we make processes to wait in particular queue, that is moving the processes from running state to waiting state. So if the processes are in a running state waiting in a loop, then they are going to use the resources and CPU cycles. So instead of making the process to wait in the loop and unnecessary use of CPU cycles, we are going to move them from running state to waiting state, so that they are not going to use any resources and they wait in a queue. So whenever the critical section is unlocked, such process will be moved back to use the critical section. So this problem we can solve using semaphores by modifying little bit the code of the semaphores. So to overcome the need for busy waiting, we can modify the definition of wait and signal semaphore operations. So busy waiting is a condition in which one process is executing in its critical section and any other process wants to enter in its critical section. Then that process needs to check some condition, that is that looping condition, in its entry section in continuous loops, so that if the process gets stuck in the loop, continuously it is going to sense and it is going to use the CPU cycles resources unnecessary. This continuous loop is a wastage of CPU cycle in a multi-programming system, where that CPU cycle can be used for some other productive work. So in a multi-programming system, in a multitasking system, so we should not wastage the use of CPU cycle. We can use that for some other productive work, so that we can avoid the process waiting to execute in its critical section is moved to the semaphore queue. This is important, is moved to the semaphore queue till it gets chance to enter in its critical section without CPU engagement, and this saves a lot of CPU time. So for this we are going to modify the semaphore coding, and we are going to include their block operation and wake up operation. So why we need to use the block operation? Moving the process to the semaphore queue is called block operation. So if you want to move the processes to the semaphore queue, then you need to execute block operation, and it changes the state from running state to waiting state. So if the processes are in a running state, they keep on occupying the resources. So by executing the block operation, such processes will be moved to the semaphore queue. Wake up operation, removing the process from the semaphore queue and placing it in the ready queue is called wake up operation. Resumes the processes from waiting state to ready state. Now by executing the block operation, processes are moved to semaphore queue. Now when the critical section is unlocked, such processes will be removed out from the semaphore queue and will be put into the back in the ready queue. That is, again its state will change from waiting state to ready state. So this is executed by wake up operation. This is done by wake up operation. So let us see the code, how we have modified this semaphore queue code. So initially the value of semaphore variable is count is equal to 1 only. In the previous semaphore coding we have seen that semaphore value is initialized by default to 1 only. So whenever the semaphore value is 1, we need to understand that there is no any process in the critical section. Whenever the semaphore value is 0, we need to understand that the critical section is locked and there might be some process in the critical section. So in this coding, we have used the structure concept. Two variables we have included inside the structure, count and process queue. And it is a semaphore structure. So semaphore, this is defined with help of structure given the name semaphore and has two variables inside it, count and process queue. So structure within structure, this is C. Process queue, this is a structure within structure. And the coding, see this is the entry section where the processes will be acquire the lock before entering into the critical section. And when they enter into the critical section, they are going to lock this using the wait by executing the wait operation. And after finishing the critical section, they are going to execute the signal operation to unlock the critical section. So we are going to modify the code of wait operation. So in an earlier session, we have seen that in a wait operation, the value of semaphore is decremented. Now somewhat we are going to change the coding of wait operation and signal operation. Signal operation, the value of semaphore was incremented. So this is the wait operation coding. Semaphore variable is there. Now as we used a structure, so the count variable is inside the structure. So we have to use that count variable with help of variable semaphore structure. So when the processes wants to enter into the critical section, they are going to execute this wait operation. And once they enter into the wait operation, they are going to execute this statement s.count minus minus. That is, they are going to decrement the value of count. So count is initialized to 1. So when you decrement the value of count, it becomes 0. So now after making the value count 0, it is going to check the condition. See, count value presently it is 0. Whether 0 is less than 0, condition is false. So if you want to become this condition true, this count value must be in a negative. This count value must be negative, then the condition becomes true. Now this condition is false because the count value is 0. So this coding will not get executed. It will not execute the block operation because there is no any other process in the critical section. So that process, when the condition becomes false, that process enters into the critical section. It executes the critical section code, and then after finishing, it executes signal operation. Now in a signal operation, it is going to increment back the count variable. So earlier it was 0. Now after incrementing, the count value is become now 1. So it is like unlocking the critical section. And next it is going to check for the whether the count is less than equal to 0. No. Count value is here 1. So condition is false. Condition is false. So it will not execute this coding. It will not execute this wake up operation as there are no processes in the queue. And it will come out so that other process can enter into the critical section. Now let us see another situation. Now suppose how the processes are moved to the semaphore queue. That means now suppose process P1 wants to enter into the critical section. So the process P1 enters into the critical section and makes the count value equal to decrement. So count value is going to be 0 now. Earlier it was 1. So count value is going to be 0. Then this will be not executed and P1 enters into the critical section. Now P1 is there in the critical section and other process tries to enter into the critical section. P2 process tries to enter into the critical section. So P1 executes the wait operation. P2 executes the wait operation and then it executes this first statement. Now here already the count value was 0, which was made by the P1. Now when P2 executes this and it decrements the count value, so the count value is going to be in a negative now. So it is going to be a minus 1. It is going to be a minus 1 after decrementing it. Earlier it was 0. 0 was made by the process P1 because it is now in the critical section. Now process P2 comes and executes count minus minus. It decrements the value of 0 and it becomes minus 1. And this condition becomes true now. So when this condition becomes true, it will execute the block operations. So in this block operation, the process will be moved to the semaphore queue. By executing this block operation, process will be moved to the semaphore queue. So now when process P1 finishes the critical section, then it goes here and it increments the value of count. Now it is going to increment the value of count. It is going to make the value 1. It is going to make the value 0. Earlier it was minus 1. You can see here minus 1. So after incrementing from minus 1, it is going to become 0. Then it is going to check for the condition. As 0 is less than equal to 0, condition is true here. So when the condition is true, it is going to execute wake up operation. So the process which was waiting in the queue, it is going to resume now. It is going to, semaphore queue is not empty, so perform wake up operation and move the first process from semaphore queue to the ready queue. So the process which was waiting in the semaphore queue will be now moved back to the ready state, will be put up into the ready queue so that it can enter into the critical section. So now P1 before coming out, it will execute signal operation. That is, it will unlock the critical section so that P2 enters now critical section. So that P2 can enter now critical section and it can execute. See how like this way the processes, instead of waiting in the loop, such processes are moved to the semaphore queue. So this is, they are moved from running state to waiting state. Semaphore queue is a waiting state. The same example we can also see in the table format. So first instruction which will be executed is s.count minus minus by the first process. So first time the count value will be 1 and when it is decremented the count value is 0. So condition is going to become false. This condition is going to become false and it allows the P1 to enter in critical section. Now when P1 is in critical section, P2 wants to enter in critical section. So when P2 wants to enter in critical section, it will execute the first instruction. When it executes the first instruction, decrements the value of count, it becomes the minus 1. So when it executes this code, this condition becomes true. So when this condition becomes true, it will execute block operation and process P2 will be put into the semaphore queue. Similarly, now other process comes. P3 also wants to enter in critical section. So when P3 wants to enter in critical section, already the semaphore value was -1 here. So when even P3 executes it, now from -1 it will decrement the value, it becomes the -2. So this condition becomes again true, and even the P3 will be put up into the semaphore queue. So two processes are waiting into the semaphore queue, P2 and P3 are waiting in the semaphore queue. Now here P1 has finished the critical section and calls signal operation. When it executes the signal operation, it is going to execute s.count++, which is going to increment the value of count. And it is also going to execute this code. When it increments the value of count, from earlier it was -2, when it increments it becomes -1. So when it becomes -1, this condition becomes true. So when this condition becomes true, it is going to P2 enters in critical section. It will remove out the P2 from queue and it makes enter P2 will be entered into the critical section. And when P2 finishes, it calls signal operation again and it will execute the count instruction. So it is going to increment from -1. When it is incremented, it becomes 0. Condition becomes true. Then it executes wake up operation and that P3 also will be removed out from the queue and put up into critical section. So even P3 enters in the critical section, and when P3 finishes, it calls the signal operation. So earlier it was 0. Now after incrementing the value of count, it becomes 1. So it is like unlocking. So all processes have come out. There is no process in the critical section. Whenever the count value is 1, we need to understand that there are no processes in the critical section. So it has come out. It will execute this. Then it is going to become false. False means no process waiting in the semaphore queue. So in today's session, we have seen how to solve the bounded waiting problem, which is unnecessarily uses the resources, CPU usage, wastage of CPU cycle, and how to improve that in the coding that we have seen in today's session. Thank you.